Hey guys, Adam here with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing the Morimoto Gen2 XB LED projector headlights with the black housing and clear lens available for the 16 and newer Tacoma. Very simply put guys, you should be checking this out if you're looking for one of arguably the most modern headlights on the market. These Morimotos are definitely the most premium headlights that I've ever seen and installed myself, and you'll see why in just a second. This guy here uses a black housing and clear lens to give you the impression of a smoked headlight, so it looks really aggressive at the front end, but more importantly, it's adding an extremely modern and advanced technology to the lighting. Now, one of the key players here is going to be the projector style. Now, your factory headlights use a projector style, but it's very OEM, pretty traditional. It's a lot more modern than most vehicles out there, but it's not really all-encompassing when it comes to things like a DRL light and sequentials. Now, this uses a bright LED DRL, or daytime running light, and that's going to be the amber light you see here. Now, right now, we only have the parking lights on, so the headlights are off, but that DRL is on. Now that DRL is going to be a really deep, vibrant amber for your turn signals and hazard lights, but it's got two different modes, which is definitely more advanced than most. This is going to use a very traditional single flash LED for your turn signals, but you also have the ability to unplug a specific harness to give it a sequential turn signal, in which case it's going to blink from the inside out in the direction of the turn signal. So for your driver's side headlight, it blinks this way, and of course for your passenger, it blinks outward that way. So very unique sequencing abilities, and the sequencing itself is very unique, but the way that it does that is actually super advanced. Now, additionally, it's got the LEDs in the middle there. Now you have two low beams and a single high beam, both of which Morimoto claims emits up to 33% more light than your factory headlight. So it's a lot brighter, definitely a lot safer, and obviously more attractive. Now those lights are more of a pure white, almost 6000 K color temperature, so you don't have to worry about it being a little bit yellowish, which typically tends to be the case with factory lights for the high and low beams. So you'll have two of the outer ones being your low beams, you'll have the inner one being your high beam, and this is something that obviously is very unique in the category. Most of the time you get either a single projector that operates as your low or high, maybe one low and one high beam, so very, very unique here with the triple lens. Now this guy, again, being a more premium option, carries a higher price tag, right around the $1,600 mark for the pair. The beautiful thing about it is it's plug and play. There's harnesses out the wazoo for the 16 and newer Tacomas on the back end here, lots of plugs, but every single one of them is plug and play. Now there's a very short harness that comes off of the back of the headlight here that connects in together, and that's going to operate the sequential or the single flash parking lights. Now obviously you can plug those in for the single, unplug it for the sequential depending on how you like it, and I'll show you guys that when it comes to the install. The install, by the way, gets 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Because it is plug and play through and through, it's a direct bolt on, no permanent modifications necessary, and I'll take you through the ropes in a minute. It's going to take you about an hour, maybe 2 from start to finish depending on your experience. First off guys, of course you have to get your factory headlights out of the way. We're going to show you a clip on our 2016 Tacoma, and then I'm going to pick it up where we left off and show you guys how to get your new headlights installed. Tools used in the install include an impact gun, 10mm deep socket, and a panel removal tool.
So to kick off this install, we are going to take off our grill. Now for this, you're going to need a 10mm socket, and you're also going to need a clip removal tool. So on either side of the grill, we're going to have a small tab. They're going to be held in by a clip here. Just going to pop this out, and we can repeat that for the other side. Then the top here, there's going to be 2 10mm bolts that we have to remove. I'm going to use a 10mm socket and my impact wrench. What we can do is lift up these 2 arms at the front and then pull our grill back, and it will pop out of place. So in order to access our headlight, we do have to remove part of our bumper to access the bolt on the side. So I'm going to take out the 3 clips at the front on the driver's side just to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to use that clip removal tool that we used at the beginning. We can just pop these out of place. Once those are out, we can head to our wheel well. So on the inside of our wheel well here, we need to remove this bolt up top. This is going to allow us to pull our fender back so we can pull our bumper down and access that bolt that I was talking about. I'm going to use a 10mm socket in order to remove that. And then once that screw or bolt is removed, what we can do is take a soft pry tool and we can pry on our fender. So if you haven't done this before, there's 3M tape up at the top, so it may require a little bit of force to pull it back, but I'm gonna wedge a soft pry tool in here and pull back on our fender. And there are little clips that you have to kind of press when doing this, and it should pop out of place. Now what we need to do at this point is just move this part of our bumper down. So I am going to reach on the inside of our wheel well and separate it from this bumper retainer clip here. So once you pull it out from that retainer there, you're gonna see a 10mm bolt. And we can use our 10mm socket and remove that. On the top of our headlight, we're also gonna have two 10mm bolts. I'm gonna use a 10mm socket in order to remove those. Now once those are taken off, they're held on by a little retainer here still. It may be helpful to use a soft pry tool just to pry up on the plastic arm on the headlight and remove those. So once everything is disconnected from our headlight, what we can do is move it towards the center of the Tacoma, kind of slide it out of place. And then our headlight will be able to be removed. So at this point, now we can take off all of our connectors from our wiring harness. All we have to do is press down and pull back. And then once we head over to the table, what we can do is swap over some of our lights into our new headlight housing.
So we got our factory headlight off of our Tacoma behind me, and it's on the table next to our Morimoto LED projector option. And I want to take you through some similarities and differences here, starting with really the differences. There really isn't similarities here at all. This is a complete night and day change up from the factory one, with the exception of fitment and quality. Now this new headlight here uses a black interior headlight with a clear lens to give you the impression of a smoked headlight, so it looks really aggressive, but it doesn't really hinder any of the light output. Now aside from that, you're also moving from a factory projector style with one high-low beam bulb to multiple high-low beam bulbs. So you get a couple of different looks here that honestly is extremely modern. The Morimoto ones are some of the most modern headlights in the category, and that's reflected here as you can see. Now those also incorporate an LED light bar or daytime running light. Now that DRL is completely different than our factory option, which did not come with the DRL. Some models of the Tacoma do come with the DRL, so if yours did not, this is going to be a pretty big upgrade in that sense. It also has a turn signal that has a couple of different features here. You can get it with the sequential and without the sequential, all built into the same headlight, which obviously did not come from the factory. That is just a matter of unplugging one of the connectors at the back end of the headlight. So there's no splicing involved with that, it's just built in. So if you plug it in, you get your sequence, and if you unplug it, it's just basic non-sequential. So you definitely have options here. And the nice thing is you can kind of bring that harness up a little bit more to the top, so you don't have to uninstall the headlight every time you want to get that done. With that said, guys, lots of differences here in terms of the LED quality. LED is going to be a lot brighter than the factory bulbs here. The LEDs that are built into the accents are going to be a lot brighter. It's also got an H7 for the high and low, and I want to take you through the entire install process. There's a lot of plugs and harnesses on the back here. It's all plug and play, but I'm going to walk you through it. So let's get started. Next up, we're going to start on our driver's side here. We've got the headlight propped up against the bumper. Quickly, I just want to make sure that you understand that there's a very small connector here that doesn't come out very far from the back, just like this. This is your turn signal harness. Now, if you keep this plugged in like I have it here, your turn signals will operate normally, not in sequence, just like any other regular turn signal. It'll blink, it'll stop, it'll blink, so on and so forth. If you unplug this, however, you will get a sequential turn signal. And the way that that works is there's a big C-shaped DRL, or daytime running light, or the parking light. It's going to sequence from this way, and they'll meet in the middle up in that corner, all the way on the outside. So they'll both sequence in the same direction at each other and meet there. So if you want to have the sequential, keep it unplugged. If you want the regular, keep it plugged in. I'm going to unplug it, and we're going to move forward, but obviously it's pretty easy to reach. You just reach back behind the battery here, and you should be able to manage that if you wanted to change it up later on. With that said, let's plug everything else back in. All right, so you're basically taking all the factory harnesses here and just finding the connector that it works with. It's really just like plug and play. If it doesn't work with one, it's probably going to fit another one, so just keep trying. All right, just a couple more. Plug these guys in. You want to make sure you hear the snap so you know they get a good connection. All right, once you have all those guys plugged in, you want to make sure the harness is tucked back and you can mount the headlight. Just go back through the motions and make sure everything's tightened down. All right, once you have this mounted back up, make sure you're doing the exact same thing to the other side and we can put everything back together. All right, let's start with the bolt, the 10mm that goes in the corner here, right where the bumper connects to the fender. All right, at that point you want to pick your bumper up and remount that guy. Just like that. Snap the fender flare back in place. Now we can put the bolt back through. All right, next up, let's put our 10mm back in the wheel well. Next up, we have a couple of things up front. You want to put your push pin clip back in the bottom inner corner, snap that shut, and then two 10mm at the top. And so we got one here, one over here. Grab your 10 socket and tighten them down. All right, repeat that on the other side and we're good to go. That's gonna wrap up my review and install for the Morimoto Gen 2 XB LED projector headlights with the black housing and clear lens for the 16 and newer Tacoma, and you can get yours right here at extremeterrain.com.